Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I cannot believe we're at the weekend already. And just a little while, my husband and I are going to be going out and enjoying a lovely breakfast together. So I am really looking forward to that. During orchard season in the summer, we don't get to do that a lot. So, special treat for us coming right up. But that's not today's topic. Today's topic is create your own clock from, you guessed it, the dollar store. So this is just a wooden clock. I don't know that they work. My goal is just to create the clock, and hopefully in the end it will work. So according to this, the size is 11.8 inches. So that is one thing we need to know. And I'm just going to move this over here out of my way. So how did I decide to do this? Well, I pulled one out and I found the center. And in doing so, I used just a ruler and painter's tape. I put the hanger at the center of the ruler, and that is how I will center my numbers. My next step was to find some scrapbook paper. This one happens to be heavy duty, and it happens to be two-sided. I think, yeah, I like this side. I like the gentle colors on it. So this is the side we are going to use. So far, we need the clock. We need whatever you would like to use to mark center, whether it be the ruler like I did, a piece of paper running up from the center of the hanger, however you want to do it. You need numbers. I'm going to bring you down so that you can see these numbers. I am using the one, then, doing it upside down is hard. I'm using 1 and 2, of course, at the top. I am using 9 at the bottom, 3 at the side here, and of course 6 at this side. So it will end up with the numbers just like so. How did I get my numbers? Well, there are many ways to get your numbers. I used my laser cutter and a piece of scrap wood, and I cut them out, and I am leaving them the natural color because I want them to match my clock, which I am also leaving the natural edge. And then I took my 12 by 12 piece of scrap paper. I placed it in my Cricut. I marked center with a little circle. Just a little half-inch circle is what I used. I marked center. I let it cut out my circle. And now I am just going to show you. I cut a slit using an X-Acto knife. You will not see that. Don't worry about it. Once it's up on the wall, nobody's going to see it. Now the next question becomes, how am I going to attach my scrapbook paper to my clock? Mod Podge. I'm going to do it just like I was taught not so many years ago, let's pretend, in school. I'm just going to grab a stir stick here. It seems to be a little bit in need of a quick stir. Just 1 second. Funny, I just opened this bottle. There we go. Just needed a quick stir. And what I'm using to put it on is just a sponge brush And since I have 20,000 rolls of wax paper, I'm using that as a plate. And I'm going to cheat here a bit. So, oh, I will tell you what I mean by that here in just a moment. There we go. Don't worry, I don't waste it. I will put it back in the jar. Normally, what I would do is put this on, always going the same direction like I am. And I would let it dry and I would iron and yada, yada, yada. But for the sake of the video, I am simply going to place it on. Like I said, my strokes are going in the same direction. And I am going to set it aside for a moment while I do the same to the back of my paper. And I am, even though I'm not placing paper right to the edge, I am placing Mod Podge right to the edge to help seal my wood, okay? That is the trick. And I'm just going to move these guys aside. That is the only thing about these dollar store clocks, I will warn you, is you can't take the back off to make it easier to create with. And I found that just a little strange, but I will work with it. And then I'm going to swing around like so. I can even use my ruler to help me. I will move these and I will do this side. And I'm only going up. I am not going over the screw in the middle. I am just trying to remember same direction at all times. Get it right to the edge to help seal the wood. And you don't want to leave a lot of, what can I say, little dollops of Mod Podge. You want to be sure to smooth it out. And just set it over here for a moment. And now I am going to do the back of the paper. Same thing, nice light coat. I am using, I believe this is the satin. I hope it is. Finish, because that's what I wanted. Yeah. Nice thin layers. Same direction each time. Make sure that you get right to the edge of your paper. Even if you get Mod Podge on your desktop, don't worry about it. It's totally washable, okay? If you've never played with Mod Podge before, then don't worry. It is water soluble, or mine is. I know there are others that are not, but this particular one I can just wipe up with a damp cloth. So there we go. I've gone all the way to the edges, and I should be able to now pick it up and taking my marker there, I want my paper slit to be at the bottom. And you have to be really careful of this step because now your paper could rip due to the fact that it's moist from the glue, right? So just be extra careful, extra patient. Just keep sliding it forward, and there we go. It is forward. Now, you just want to center it top to bottom as best you can. And I think that will do it. And then what I am going to use right now is my brayer. And I'm going to use it to be sure, first of all, that my seam is well pushed in, so it won't be too noticeable once it's hung up, and to remove any bubbles. And it also makes me aware of if I missed any glue at the edges. Like right here, I can just lift this up a little bit and add some extra, lay it down, problem solved. Now, normally, this is another step where I would wait for my glue to dry. But for sake of video timing, what I am going to do is I am going to do it right now. And what I am doing is I'm going back over the top of my Mod Podge in the same direction. Okay? Don't do this way and then this. Travel in one direction right over the edges. Get it good along your seam there. Some of you are going to ask me why I cut a seam. I did not have the desire to line up the halves of a circle by cutting the circle itself in half. It was much easier to cut a seam and slowly and gently put my paper over. And that way I didn't have to worry, right? Much, much easier. And remember, you're doing light coats, light brush strokes, so that you do not lift or rip your paper. Just let me... Oh, I have a bubble starting. So I'm simply going to take my brayer and force it out. There we go. If your brayer will not work, grab a scraper, a credit card, whatever you have, and work it out that way. Okay? This brings back memories of being in school, ripping up paper to play with paper mache. That's what this reminds me of. Don't worry about glue that you get on your things. Like I said, they will wash off. There we go. No excess glue. Glue all around the edges. So in between, normally, what you want to do is do your bottom layer, do your paper, get it on there, and then let it sit and dry before you do your top coat, okay? For sake, that way you avoid some of this bubbling, but for sake of video time, I am just going with it. Now, like I said, grab a wipe and just wipe your fingers and wipe your cloth if you need to. I'm aware that this can be a bit of a messy project since we can't take these off, but I'm not worried. Everything is wipeable. I love crafting. It allows me to make and fix a mess. Okay, now going in the same direction, I'm going to work out this bubble. Slow but steady. Okay, and there we go, gone. Just keep going, and eventually you'll feel a puff on your fingers, and it will be the bubble working its way through. Now, if you have one that escapes you and you don't notice it, you know what? You're not going to notice it on the wall either. Oh, it's kind of a little cheater thing. That one just keeps working his way back. He's stubborn. That's what comes from trying to move along too fast. But I'm okay with it because I know that I can get it out by just poking it with a pin and just forcing the air out. Okay? So now, to put these on, I could use the Mod Podge, or I can use this paper glue because I am gluing onto paper. But first, I want to lay them on so that I know I have them all lined up correctly. And what I am doing to make it easier on myself is I am lining up with the edges of my paper. Not my clock, but my paper. And so that makes it nice and easy. And for finding center for my 12, I can use my ruler. And I think what I will do is use my Mod Podge as a glue, which will at the same time go ahead and seal. There we go. And now I'm going to place the 2 down, lined up, like I said, with the paper, and I'm going to hold it for just a moment. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope this is a project you try. You don't have to use a clock. You could use a plaque and put a beautiful verse on it. You could use a plaque and put a picture, a photo in the middle. You could do all kinds of beautiful projects. Just look up Mod Podge paper wood on the YouTube or the interwebs or whatever we're calling it these days. And it will give you a ton of projects if you've never done this before. I did this many times in school, so for me, it's a trip down memory lane. I have done it a few times since school, but somehow, you get going on the other things and you forget about the things that you first learned, like the basics. This feels like going back to the basics, and sometimes we all should go back instead of rushing forward all the time. We're always rushing forward and forgetting about the things that came first. So what am I up to this weekend? Well, I have another order. This one for a painted clock. So it's just for a baby's room, so she's not worried about if it actually makes the tick-tock noise. In fact, she said at this point she may not even put batteries in it until he's much older. She just wants the design. So I said, wow, that's entirely possible, right? The oops, oops, no, other way, oh no. I forgot and accidentally put my 9 upside down. Well, like everything, for some reason I was thinking 6. It is not my project unless something goes wrong. I will tell you that right now. I will confess it. But the good thing about using multicolored paper is you can touch it up and blend it in. I'm just going to blend with my finger, and hopefully my 9 covers most of it, just so we can finish the project. If this wasn't just a project to show you, if this was somebody's, I would start from scratch. I absolutely would. But it's just a project to show you. So be aware of that when you're doing yours. Make sure your letters and your numbers and so forth are all right side up and facing the right direction. And oh, I'm telling you guys, when I get doing the videos and I get chatting with you, it's like my brain takes a vacation. Literally. So now what I want to do is just grab, what can I grab? Oh, my piece of paper right here. Just scrap paper anyway. Okay, so right about the bird. That makes it easy. Right about there should line it up. Down, 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 down. Push. There we go. Now I will continue to add another layer of color to my boo-boo so that it will not show. But there we go, guys. I'm going to leave it alone now and let it be. But there we go. We have our 9 down here, 6, 12, and 3. We have our dollar store clock all done. Like I said, we marked our hanger at the back. This used up a piece of scrapbook paper that I forgot I even had, so that's a good thing. And it only took a few minutes. And even our boo-boo can be fixed. That's the great thing. So let's see. Here is the question of the day. Whoops. Do dollar store clocks actually work? Come on, in you go. Guys, it's working. So, oh, let me bring it up. There we go. Come on, up. There you go. What time is it now? It is 10 after 12. So, let's put this out there. Oops. Sorry, going by you. There's 12, there would be the 1, there would be the 2. So about 10 after 12. And away she goes. So, dollar store came through for us. I love this project, guys. It was easy. Even with my boo-boo, I'm not worried. I will blend in a turquoise color to the paper and it will be all good. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope that you give some Mod Podge a try. There are so many cool ideas online that you should just, there we go for and give it a try. It's something, especially if you haven't, like me, you haven't done it in so long. It was fun. It was like being a kid again. I might do some more Mod Podge. I hope you guys take care, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye.